These are images of the Indian Army chief being presented with a guard of honor in Bhutan amidst the Chinese PLA's salami slicing attempts along the tiny nation's borders. The Modi government's focus remains on Chinese threats along the LOC, which is why the Indian Army chief's visit to Bhutan gains even more significance. General Dwivedi was even granted an audience by the Queen and King of Bhutan, His Majesty Jigme Khesar Wangchuk, as well as His Majesty Jigme Singye Wangchuk, the revered former king. This is how an Indian Army chief is honored in a foreign country, unlike failed Marshal Asim Munir, who was summoned by Donald Trump via the back door away from any media coverage. General Upendra Dwivedi's 4-day visit is a show of India's continued commitment as a guarantor of Bhutan's safety and security against any Chinese aggression. China has been slowly chipping away Bhutanese territory, with the kingdom unwilling to confront the dragon and avoid a war. The Chinese PLA's incursions near the Doklam plateau are a cause of real concerns for India. PLA aims to pressure Bhutan into handing over the Doklam region, which would give it a military advantage over the Indian military in this region, as well as come within striking distance of the Siliguri corridor or the Chicken's Neck land corridor connecting India's northeast. New Delhi has urged Thimphu that any boundary dispute settlement must not compromise India's security interests in Doklam. We'll take a look at how China is salami slicing Bhutan and why it matters to India. But first, the Indian Army chief also held detailed discussions with Lieutenant General Batu Shering, Chief Operations Officer of the Royal Bhutan Army, with top focus on regional security challenges, capacity building, and exploring avenues for deeper military cooperation. India and Bhutan also discussed joint military cooperation, joint military training initiatives, strategic infrastructure development, and future collaboration under bilateral defense mechanisms. General Dwivedi also visited the IMTRAT, or the Indian Military Training Team, a key pillar in training and mentoring the Royal Bhutan Army. Remember, IMTRAT is the Indian military's oldest training center in a foreign country and a symbol of India's long-term military assistance to Bhutan. He also paid a visit to Project Dantak, the YK infrastructure arm of India's border roads organization in the Himalayan kingdom. Army spokesperson Colonel Nishant Arvind mentioned in a statement, quote, "The visit reflects the deep-rooted and time-tested ties between India and Bhutan and reaffirms India's commitment to a close and trusted partner," unquote. Now, any India-Bhutan top-level discussions are likely to have focused on Doklam, the scene of the tense 73-day standoff when Indian military stopped an illegal Chinese PLA road construction. After continuous negotiations, finally Beijing accepted to withdraw its troops to their original position. Doklam still remains the bone of contention, lying at the tri-junction of India, Bhutan, and China. The CCP has been accused of building border villages and settlements inside what is traditionally Bhutanese territory. Reports suggest China has constructed 22 settlements within Bhutan's traditional borders, out of which 7 have emerged since 2023 itself, indicating a significant acceleration in PLA's border annexation attempts. The much smaller Bhutan, understandably, prefers not to get into a conflict, and India can only help Bhutan when it seeks Indian intervention. These cross-border villages located in the western region of Bhutan serve as a strategic purpose for China, targeting and gaining control over the 89 square kilometer plateau of Doklam. But it's not surprising at all. Tomorrow China will claim Antarctica as its own territory. It's just something the CCP does. For India, the Chinese efforts to construct infrastructure so close to India's borders, less than 100 kilometers from the strategic Siliguri corridor, could have long-term security implications. According to media reports citing Indian intelligence agencies, the Chinese delegation visited several regions near Indian border close to the Siliguri corridor at the beginning of this year. What's more, this time the Chinese are using Bangladesh to encircle the Siliguri corridor. What's more, Indian government sources revealed in March that China was planning to help Bangladesh revive a World War II era airfield in Lalmonirhat district on the other side of Siliguri corridor. So will this under construction airbase be used only for civilian purposes? Will Bangladesh allow China to station its fighter jets in Lalmonirhat? Or will it become a hub for the PLA's intelligence gathering and monitoring and espionage of Indian military movements and logistics? Any presence of Chinese PLA in Bangladesh in such close proximity to India's Siliguri corridor would be unacceptable to New Delhi, which is why securing the Doklam plateau in Bhutan gains even more significance. The Indian Army Chief's visit to Bhutan is the second official high-level engagement between both the neighbors in just the last 6 months. Bhutan's King Jigme Khesar Wangchuk visited New Delhi in April to advance the existing strategic partnership between the two Himalayan neighbors. Prime Minister Modi held talks with the monarch, focusing on bilateral cooperation, and both the leaders vowed to further strengthen the exemplary India-Bhutan partnership. A press release by the Ministry of External Affairs stated, the Prime Minister reiterated India's strong commitment to the economic development in Bhutan, highlighting the doubling of India's development support to Bhutan in its 13th five-year period, unquote. Both the leaders went on to discuss the Gelefu Mindfulness City initiative, a visionary project spearheaded by Wangchuk to catalyze Bhutan's development and strengthen cross-border linkages with India. Sources told the Hindustan Times that the Himalayan nation needs India's developmental assistance and budgetary support more than ever as it seeks to develop an economic hub at Gelefu. Remember, Bhutan occupied the largest share of Modi government's external aid portfolio in the budget for 2024-25 with an outlay of 2,068 crore rupees. India also doubled its financial aid for Bhutan's 5-year plan from 5,000 crore to 10,000 crore rupees. But what do you believe? Can India help Bhutan guard against future Chinese salami slicing attempts? Greece is reportedly exploring India's 1,500-kilometer range land attack cruise missile to counter Turkey's Russian-made S-400 air defense systems. Showcased at the DEFEA 2025, the subsonic missile offers deep strike precision and terrain-hugging capabilities. Discussed during the DEFEA 2025 defense exhibition in Athens to strengthen the strategic and military ties between India and Greece. Greek analysts are looking at it as a strategic potential move amid tensions rising with Turkey. However, there is no official confirmation from any side yet. If the deal happens, the operational deployment is expected only by 2028-29. The HAL's Nasik plant is set to roll out the first Tejas Mark 1A fighter jet this month, completing its third production line, confirms HAL Chairman and Managing Director D.K. Sunil. The Tejas Mark 1As have suffered delays due to GE F404 engine supply chain issues and certification hurdles. Following this, the HAL has scheduled the integration and test firing of the Astra missile from the Tejas for August 2025. One of the crucial components for the Tejas Mark 1A's operational capabilities is its integration of the Astra missile developed by the DRDO, which will enhance the aircraft's air-to-air combat effectiveness, reducing dependency on foreign weapon systems. The delivery of the two engines is expected from July 2025. HAL plans to ramp up production from 16 to 24 jets annually by optimizing existing Bengaluru and Nasik lines to further increase capabilities. Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.